your fantasy gymnastics update after week 1. We're recording this on Monday, January 5th. We'll tell you who's a steal, who's on a bye, who's injured, and who's making the lineups. Welcome to GymCastic, the #1 gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation, and this is our college fantasy gymnastics update.
We're going to start out with the roster bargains after week 1. So these are the athletes who are outperforming their price in the GymCastic Fantasy League. So the most expensive gymnasts cost 7,500 gym rubles. The least expensive cost 1,500. We're going to tell you how to get some scores from the lower end of the pricing range, starting with gymnasts in the all-around, which we've added to fantasy this year.
So Gabrielle Dildy from Rutgers, 1,500 gym rubles, posted the third highest score in the nation this week 1, with a 39,325. That's great.
We have Isabella Minervini at Towson at 4,000 gym rubles. If you listen to the main show this week, you know that Jessica already anointed her part of the Roman/Greek pantheon. So that's her biggest accomplishment. But second to that is that she put together a solid meet in week 1 for 39.2 in the all-around, which puts her tied for 4th in the country.
Annalise Newman-Achee from Cal, 1,500, our Trinidad and Tobago goddess, who also is a normal-sized human, so they have to raise the bars for her, and that's one of my favorite facts about her. Annalise matched Isabella's score for a discounted price. It's always tough to know who's going to perform in the all-around, but if you're ranking in the top 5, expect a gymnast to keep that all-around spot, barring injury or needing rest.
On that note, Sage Melkonian at Cal, who didn't compete at all last year and is just at 1,500 gym rubles in the all-around because we didn't know she was ever going to do a routine, put up a very solid performance doing all 4 events in week 1, scoring 39.125, which was good for the 7th highest all-around score in week 1.
Jerquavia Henderson, you guys, she's back doing her 7th year for Iowa. All-arounder for 1,500 did great in her debut. Who we talked about in College and Cocktails about her return. She got a 39.125. Floor might be her best event. Getting back into it after a long layoff, we expect this score to rise as the season goes on.
Moving on to vault, I first of all want to talk about Zoe Johnson at Utah, who is our steal of the week at 1,500 gym rubles on vault. Top vault gymnast in week 1, she stuck her Yurchenko 1.5, scored 9.925. She came into Utah's vault lineup at the end of last season, had some real highs, got a 9.95, also some falls, so she wasn't ranked very well, was kind of inconsistent, but she's going to be an important part of Utah's vault lineup this year. Emily Lease at Rutgers is another one at 1,500 gym rubles. Came in with scoring the same as a little someone named Jordan Childs this week at 990, but is, 6,000 gym rubles cheaper, and you can get her for 1,500.
Rayleigh Jackson of Missouri, 1,500, 9.875. She's tied for the 4th spot in the nation after week 1. Also, Annalise Newman-Achee, Cal, we're going to talk about her a lot, 1,500. This won't be the last time we talk about this Cal Jr. Scored a 9.85. This was the 7th highest score on vault. Also, Riley Jenkins at UCLA, 2,000 gym rubles. Sophomore, making any lineup in the top teams tough, but we expect she'll keep this vault spot for a while. Her 9.825 was the 2nd highest vault score in UCLA's lineup.
Let's talk about bars a little bit. We have Taylor DeVries at Oregon State. So she's at 5,000 gym rubles because we know she's really good, which might not sound like a bargain, but here's the thing. She posted the highest bar score of the week in a tie. She got 9.925, and you didn't need to spend like the maximum possible range of gym rubles to get the top score of the week. So that was pretty important. And also toe point, execution, line, these things. If these things matter to you and not just the scores, also think about Taylor. We have Quinn Cool at Clemson, also who anchored their lineup this week. She's at 5,000 gym rubles. The best indication of the beginning of the Crandall Howell era at Clemson is that the bars has already started. She's only like a skosh off the Clemson record on bars in the first week with a stuck dismount. Scored 9.90, which was the 5th highest score of the week on bars.
Kamara Eccles of Missouri, 1,500 gym rubles, 9.9 to open the season. Same score as Cool, 3,500 gym rubles. Cheaper, though. Mickey Adorinto of Cal, 1,500 gym rubles, a very respectable 985 to start the season. This lumps her over with a bunch of other gymnasts in the 11th place spot, but this is the fourth best score of the week.
Which is right there with Sage Melkonian at Cal, 1,500. Again, another one who you can get for the lowest range because a lot of these teams, like Cal, have gymnasts who are having to come in, even returning gymnasts who are having to come into these lineups and fill the spots of departed people. Those are the best steals in fantasy because they're the ones who we haven't seen before. We don't have any scores to go on before. And then you can come, they're going to pop into the lineups this year and have that big rise, but not be, the most expensive gymnast to get.
Now to beam, the most important event of all. Annalise Newman-Achee of Cal. I'm only talking about her today. 1,500 gym rubles on beam. But what can we say? She had a great meet. Scored a 9.9 on beam. This puts her number 5 in the country this week.
Lauren McPherson at Missouri. So she's a transfer from San Jose. She's at 1,500 gym rubles because she didn't compete last year. She transferred to Missouri and then was out last year, but now she's there. She's in. She got 9.9 on beam in the first week, and I think it was maybe my favorite performance in all of Missouri's lineup. And she was so clearly so meaningful for her because she transferred. She's been out for a long time. She hit this amazing beam routine in the second spot. It was like the moment of the meet, definitely. But she went right after Amy Weir, another transfer to Missouri. She'd been there for a while, but she started out at Oklahoma. She's at 5,000 gym rubles. A senior leading off that lineup, but already got a 9.9 in the leadoff position in week 1 and has just continued to improve and improve. Chelsea Hallinan at Washington is another one at 5,000 gym rubles. A junior was the only other person to score a 9.9 on beam in week 1. Only 4 other gymnasts scored better than 9.9, and 3 of them were on UCLA's lineups, which tend to be the more expensive gymnasts because a lot of people want them and they get really good scores or something because they're maybe a good team. Washington had a really strong beam showing overall at this first meet of the year that was really encouraging. And there was another Washington gymnast who we both really like.
Lily Tubbs at UW for 1,500. She got a 9.875. You can save a lot of gym rubles, give up just 0.025 to put Lily Tubbs in your lineup because she's a senior and she knows how to compete.
Moving on to floor, we have Bailey Stroud at Utah, 1,500 gym rubles, freshman, opened with a 9.85, second highest floor score in the Utah lineup. She's someone, if the first meet is any indication, we're going to see a lot of routines from her in a lot of Utah lineups over the next, say, 4 years. So get in now so that you form an attachment to her on your fantasy team right from the start. And then you're like, I know who I need in my lineup every year for the next 4 years because we know each other. We have a relationship. She was in my fantasy lineup, but she got a good score. Therefore, we're best friends. That is how fantasy sports work. I want to talk about Elise Tisler at Missouri for 5,000 gym rubles. She scored a 9.9 on floor in week 1 as Missouri continues to excel on floor. It was only Jordan Childs who got 9.925 on floor and Hannah Horton, also at Missouri, who we know about and is, an established force is Hannah Horton on floor. But they were the only ones who scored better. They got 9.925. And you can put Horton in your lineup for 5,000 gym rubles. Childs is the maximum. Tisler, 5,000. Missouri floor. That's what I'm saying.
Ayala Acevedo of Missouri, 1,500 gym rubles. If you want that Missouri gymnast in your lineup, but don't have the rubles, grab Acevedo. She scored 9.9 and is a steal. 1,500 gym rubles, 9.9 in your lineup. Acevedo. Gabrielle Dildy from Rutgers, 5,000 gym rubles. But wait, hear me out. 5,000, okay? One of the only 6 gymnasts in week 1 to score a 9.9, and one of only 8 gymnasts to score a 9.9 or better. So while the price is a little up there, Dildy is still a deal.
Other one we need to talk about, Sophie Schwartzmiller at Minnesota, 1,500 gym rubles, got a 9.85 on floor. That was the top floor score on the Minnesota roster in the first week. That's a very good floor team, so keep that in mind. Tough to make that lineup. We're looking for the successor to Maya Houghton, who is coaching now and not even doing floor. It's we couldn't have broken some rules to keep Maya Houghton in this lineup for 6 more years. I don't know, but You can comfort yourself with Sophie Schwartzmiller in your floor lineup.
So how did the people play the fantasy?
Okay, week 2, fantasy lineups. Lock Friday, January 9th, 2:45 p.m. Pacific time. You can enter anytime before that. You pick your 6 gymnasts for each of the 4 events and 6 in the all around. You get to drop a score this year, count the top 5. The winner of the season is going to receive a full commissioned episode where you can make us talk about anything gymnasticsy that you want. We will also reward weekly winners, and all the players will be able to unlock achievements and fill out their digital trophy case throughout the season. And remember, it is completely free to play. You can play at gymcastic.com at the link for our College Fantasy League.
And most importantly, you can join anytime for a weekly win. Because if you're like me and you didn't get your lineup done by the deadline last week, that's okay. It doesn't matter. You can still be a weekly winner. Enjoy.
Okay, and your week 1 lineup carries over for week 2. So if you are unlike Jessica and, did submit your lineup, it's the same in week 2.
I will not be shamed. I'm owning it. I've got a lot of things to do. But I'm invested. I already have my lineup set for next week.
You clicked the finish button and everything? Because you need to do it.
No, I didn't do that yet. Well, I better go log in now.
All right, let's talk about the league. What's been happening? Our current week 1 leader, Jersey Gym Twins, is the leader with 393.125, a quarter tenth ahead of KJ's Dungeon. I didn't know anyone could beat KJ's Dungeon.
What?
This is dramatic. This is dramatic news. We had no 10s in week 1. The closest was Jordan Childs Beam, 10 from one judge, but we will keep you posted on who's getting 10s and how you can get a 10 on your fantasy team. Let's look at a couple of quick league stats. These are the gymnasts who were rostered the most and some of the things that stood out in week 1. Avery Neff was the most selected all-around gymnast in week 1, and most selected gymnast overall in 44.8% of lineups. That was one of the safer bets for who might actually be in the all-around in week 1. Jordan Childs, it was more risky because we didn't know if she was going to be ready to compete all the events, but turns out she was. Second most rostered at 28.3%. So she's the most expensive because it's Jordan Childs, but also it was worth it because she posted the highest scores on bars and beam and floor and had the second highest on vault. So it's a legitimate strategy if you want to break the bank on Jordan Childs routines and then fill up the rest of your team with steals. Not a bad idea. Orly Tran, all around, was the number 3 most rostered gymnast at 26.4%. Also, her bars routine, safe bet that she's going to be in that lineup because it's so good. Ella Cesario got some people because she typically competed. Ella Cesario in the all-around was in 21.8% of lineups. She typically competed the all-around for Cal. She was transferred to Clemson, was coming in. It was like, Ella's definitely going to be in the all-around lineup. Only did bars and beam week 1. So that got some people. But that's what's going to happen. We don't know. Yep. It's not like one of those sports, those professional sports where they do like everyone has an availability report for fantasy, because fantasy is like a big business. And then you have to keep your ear to the ground and make some guesses in fantasy gymnastics, which makes it more fun, I think.
And that's what we're here for, because I have the week 2 injury report looking ahead. So Undine Achampong from Cal, we don't have official word, but she wasn't competing in week 1. So she is MIA as of right now. Emma Malevsky at Clemson, hugely anticipated debut, especially on bars. She posted on TikTok that she got injured at her last practice before the meet. So she had crutches and an ace bandage, but I talked to her and she said, I'm going to heal fast. This is not stopping me.
Couple teams have 2 meets in week 2. So when a team competes twice in a week, we take the highest score of the 2. So when you draft gymnasts who are competing multiple times, it's like you get a do-over. So Utah has a Saturday and a Monday. Fisk has a Friday and a Sunday. Southern Utah and BYU also have Friday and a Monday, because there's the Utah, we're all from Utah, we're doing a Utah thing meet on Monday. So a lot of double competing in the state of Utah. So I would maybe pick some gymnasts from some Utah teams this week. Get a double chance.
We have a Club Gym Nerd, that supports this show. You get an extra podcast every week where we pick a meet, we watch it all together, and then we discuss as a family and get all of our feelings out. It's called College and Cocktails. Plus special coverage during big events like world championships, national championships, etc. And Spencer has a website called The Balance Beam Situation where he live blogs and sometimes does gifts if we're lucky, gifts of the weeks, and they're hilarious and they're my favorite. If you like this content, be sure to watch the regular show, GymCastic, and we'll see you at College and Cocktails, which is Saturday this week, January 10th. The Sprout Squad first session, Oklahoma, UCLA, Utah, LSU. It's going to be on ABC, and we will be doing College and Cocktails after around 3:00 p.m. Pacific. So you can get the full College and Cocktails scheduled in the forum. And until then, spend your gym rubles wisely, and may the Beam Witch be with you.